Hi, this is Lou from Lou's Antiques and Collectibles, and we are still at the Midland County Fairgrounds at the Michigan Antique Festival. So we spent the whole weekend up here, and we have quite a load of videos to show you folks. So this is the third one out of, like I said, out of 6. And we're going to do some outside vendors today, and we're going to do one of the barns today. But look at all the vendors outside. This was crazy. There were so many dealers. I believe there was about 1,000 dealers. So this was definitely worth coming. So it's open on Saturday and Sunday, and you can come either day, and it's rain or shine. So let's hear what Matt has to say about that.
Yeah, this event is open rain or shine. We have so many buildings packed with dealers, and a lot of the outdoor dealers also have tents. So don't feel like you only have to come out in the perfect weather, because we'll be able to accommodate you with any weather forecast.
Thanks for the information, Matt. So today we're going to go into this building, one of the merchant buildings, and we're going to talk to some of the dealers and see what they have to say, and we're going to look at some antiques and see if I can find some bargains. So like I said, there was 4 buildings. Everyone was just packed with people, and there was so much to see that if you really stopped and saw everything like we did, it will take you the full 2 days for sure. We were fortunate enough to be able to stay right at the campground connected to the fairgrounds. We're going to interview a few of the dealers in this barn. Let's go talk to the gentleman at Blue Rose Antique.
All right, this is the booth for John and Sue at Midland Antique Show. We've been doing the shows for about 25 years in different states and Michigan mostly, and with Lori for all the Davisburg shows and a lot of the Midland shows. Our goal is to have pottery and glassware, pottery, art glassware. Our thing is colors, different colors, and shiny. So you can see even the tablecloths are shiny. And so right now we're looking at pottery. We got Roseville pottery with different pieces. Some are rarer than others. Some of the Forest Vista and Blackberry up there are with the lamp. Those are pretty hard to find. Then we have Weller pottery and Van Briggle pottery. That's mostly what we have in pottery. Nowadays all the kids like Vaseline glass. Something about TikTok. It's on there or something, so at least the young kids are buying glassware. And then we have some Carnival Glass because we like the iridescence of it. It's really shiny. That's why we have so many lights in the booth. And then we get into RS Prussia, fine porcelain, all made around 1900 or before. And Mount Washington glassware, peach blow, and some Royal Dalton figurines, perfumes, Aladdin lamp, cranberry glass, check glass. Again, colors and shiny is what we like. So then we have miscellaneous other stuff.
Let's see another dealer.
All right, my name's Ian. I'm from Bay City. We're with the Americana Company, and I try to sell a little bit of everything from the 70s and 80s. Over here we got some G.I. Joe figures, which are pretty popular. Star Wars is pretty popular. I try to keep in stock everything that people had when they were kids that they remember and their parents threw out and now they want it back. So I try to keep a good amount of a little bit of everything on hand. The Star Wars, that's popular with all the different movies they're coming out with today. And Transformers, those are getting harder to find, but people still like them. Then I try to keep in a little bit of the odder items of things that are pretty much oddities at this point because they weren't mass produced, and people like them just because they remember they had it as a kid, and it reminds them of their childhood. And you got Bucky O'Hare figures up there, which those were probably from the early 90s, and so those tailed along with the craze with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and people were all trying to catch the same money boat. And see, you got some Ninja Turtles, and those are still pretty popular. Those are gaining in popularity. And so I just try to keep in a little bit of everything. Wrestlers, those are still popular, and I've slowly been getting into the 90s stuff because that age group has been all of a sudden having a disposable income and they want to buy their childhood back.
So here's Kathy's corner, and she has all kinds of candles and wax melts. And besides the antiques and collectibles, there are some dealers like this that has some new things, but they're really nice for when you're going to these places. I often look for gifts, so I like those kind of dealers because I can pick up those things that you can't find in the store. Well, they're hard to buy people. So she had all kinds of different soaps and different candles and all kinds of goodies like that. And here's the Watkins Company again. And this is actually, I think, a different dealer than Davesburg show, but it was still really nice to have those Watkins products there. And here's some sports memorabilia. And this is Model A and Model T wrenches for you car folks out there if you're looking for an odd tool. And those tools also were for cars from the 60s, she told me. So besides the car show, there was lots of dealers that had car parts and things like that if you're looking for things like that when you're restoring your vehicle. So lots of interesting things. And here's some old bottles and some old baseball cards. There's some bats in there. And lots of sports items. And some coins, some old pictures. And here's some glassware and a teapot. Tiger glassware for the Detroit Tigers. Well, here's some uniforms, military uniforms, and some toys. A bit of a mix match in this booth. They had a little bit of everything, which as a dealer, that's pretty smart. I usually try to carry a big variety because you never know who's going to come through there. So it's nice to have a very big variety of items. Oh, and this is where the party began for me. This lady had about probably 6 or 7 tables full of jewelry and all kinds of bins, and it was really reasonable. So I went on a little piling brigade here and got all kinds of stuff here. This is the dealer I probably bought the most from, and she did not disappoint, I'll tell you. So I actually wish I would have spent maybe another hour in her booth to really look at every item because it was so reasonable. Most things were under $3, so you just can't beat that. So here I am picking up a few necklaces. Now that turquoise necklace, it's not real turquoise, but the color turquoise sells very well for me. So even if it's not the real turquoise, it sells really good. And of course, 3 for $5, you can't beat that deal. That was a nice glass necklace there I was debating on, and I probably should have got that one too. It was kind of like stones, but I wasn't sure if it was natural stones or synthetic. And here I am digging into bracelets. And buddy, I found me some there. I'll tell you what, especially at $1 a piece. And some of them I think were 2 and 3, but there was a nice assortment. And as I look back on this, I think, man, I should have bought that one and I should have bought that one. But like I said, I spent quite a load of money there. And this was actually the second day. So imagine what she had on the first day. She had put quite a bunch of new stuff out on the second day, which was good, but I should have been there both days because she had great prices and lots of cool stuff. So I dug through the bracelets for a while to see what I can find. And my hands were getting kind of full. She had to give me a couple baskets. Ooh, that pearl one is nice. It's a nice older stretch bracelet. And so was that one. I got that one too. That was a nice one. Also. And here's another bin of bracelets that I dug through. And these were only $1 a piece too. What a deal. Like I said, I should have just stayed there for like another hour and looked at every item because I'm sure on the bottom of that pail there was some more cool stuff. Oh yes, that was a nice stretch bracelet. Silver and rhinestones, that was mine. Let's see what else I can find. This one I kind of debated on. I've had some stuff like this in the past. It doesn't sell that well, so that was pretty too, but it was a little bit, the gold was a little bit wore off. So I passed on that one. And that was a pretty one too. I should have got that black one too. I don't know what I was thinking on that one. So then we moved on over to the earrings and pins. And like I said, I spent time here, but I really should have spent even more time. But the show was so big, I wanted to make sure I see everything. And those earrings were only $1. She had necklaces hanging up all over the place. And some had some sterling silver clasp on them, which was nice. Those were the ones with the sterling silver clasp. And she even had a bin of men's jewelry, which I do buy cufflinks from time to time. Sometimes they sell, sometimes they don't. It just depends on who's around. They're not consistently good sellers. There was a nice piece of rose quartz. I got that. I typically do better with the cufflinks when I do a show. Then I could display them all together and they sell a little bit better. We're digging back in the jewelry, and another bracelet bucket. That was a nice one. That was mine. And there were some Christmas items for $1. And then I found the rings. And holy moly, I bought a lot of rings. 3 for $5 or $2 each. I bought a ton of rings. Everything that looked decent and had a good shank on the bottom with no miscolorings, I bought it. You just don't find rings for that price. And here's some $5 pins that were really quite nice. And this jewelry on this table was 2 for $5 or $3 each. And I got a couple little pins. You can see my baskets are getting full. And she was so nice. She had a whole bunch of rings underneath the counter. And she brought all those out too, because I was buying so many rings. She brought all the reserves out too. And let's check out these bracelets hanging up. They were everywhere. So I picked up some things. That one was really pretty with all the rhinestones on it. I picked up that one too. And as I look back, there's about 3 more I should have picked up. That one was really pretty. I don't know why I didn't get that one, that rhinestone one. That was quite nice. So let's take a look and see all the good things that I got, being I was in this booth for such a long time. I wanted to show you all my finds. I'm going to show you all the stuff I got from that one jewelry lady that I was going crazy at here in the video. And I got 30 rings from her. I spent $96 for all of this. So there's 30 rings there. I'm going to make between $8 and $10 a piece. So there's my profit right there. And not including all the other stuff. And then these bracelets range between $2 and $3. And I got quite a lot big assortment of those. This is nice because it's rose quartz. And there's a couple pins there that I got from her. And here's the necklaces. I got a rose quartz necklace, a couple black bead ones that are glass. And this one here was a surprising one. It's full of rhinestones. It's really pretty. So that was a neat one. And like I said, I spent about $96 on all of it. And the surprise was this one here, which I thought was fake amber. It didn't look really real to me, but when I put that underneath the black light, it did shine. So I don't know. There's various different kinds of amber in there, and I'll have to do some more research on that. But that was a nice surprise. So this will be a very good profit for me, because I can make about close to $300 just on the rings. So I paid $96 for it all, and that's not including all the other bracelets and necklaces here. So what a good buy. So we're going to head on outside now and start taking a look at the dealers that are outside. They were everywhere, and it took us some time to get through all these dealers. And there was lots of games and toys, more sports items, cars, and lots of hats. I do buy those hats now when I go to like different sales, but they're not like big money for those hats. I get between about $5 and $10 a piece for those hats. Oh, and I was looking here for a Briar horse. And to tell if they're Briar or not, they have a little inside mark. It's like a circle. I don't know if you could see it on the screen. A little circle, and it says Briar on them. So those can be quite valuable, and I always pick those up when I run across them, if they're priced very reasonable. And they even had some blow molds. And here's lots of little glass items and ceramic items. And a big variety again. Most dealers are like me. They have a big variety of items, so it appeases someone at least. There was some more little lanterns and glass objects. A nice little piece of Fenton back there with the blue and the milk glass one also. And some salt and pepper shakers. That was a cute set. I definitely checked that one out. Some of those can be quite valuable. And I couldn't find that one when I was kind of looking it up, but it was a nice set. I found some very similar for probably around $20 to $30. But they can even go a little higher depending on how rare they are. Here's a nice old boat. And some patches and pins. And this is the Norwex Company. And there was a dealer here that had a couple tables with these types of cleaning products for sale. And this is Farmhouse Furniture. And there's lots of old buckets and pans. Porcelain covered. There's an old thermos. And there's a nice egg basket. There's actually a couple of them in the front. Those are nice. They're kind of hard to find these days. Some good old milk jug. And those that metal pitcher there, that's to collect the milk in, from what I understand. That's what they told me. A milker can. So correct us if we're wrong on any of this, because we want to know the right things, and we're learning too, just like you folks are. Look at all these nice shelves. And those chairs were so cute, all different colors. And here's some linens, some old hats, some comics. And this was a golden book. And the easiest way to tell if it's an older golden book is there's no UPC on the back. I mean, there's a variety of different marks you can look for on the back if you do some research on there. But the easiest indication is just to see if there's a UPC code in the back. And here's some nice old bottles. They had quite a large variety. And golden books, too, can be kind of valuable. Sometimes they're only worth a little bit. It depends on which one it is and how popular it is. And I typically look to the internet to find out the comps on that. Look at all these nice bottles. This is Cedar lawn furniture, birdhouses, and feeders. And these are for Orioles, which my neighbor feeds with grape jelly. This one here is a birdhouse, and you can take it apart by taking this screw out here, and you can clean it out. They had some really pretty birdhouses there. That would have really looked nice in my backyard. In fact, another thing yet I should have bought, but I didn't. Oh man, I wish I could go back this week and see it. So this is Bex Bees, and they have all kinds of honey products. And the Michigan Antique Show, they have 2 shows in the spring and 2 in the fall. One in Davisburg and one in Midland of each in the fall and in the spring. So check their website to get the dates on those. And they're always Saturday and Sunday. So that makes it pretty easy for all of us to get there. Those are cool candles. And this is Lucky Puppy Boutique. They had lots of cute things. And this is Surprisingly Pearl Thick. They had lots of different pearls. Cute items. And here's some more furniture I was kind of looking at. Look at this nice old radio. That was pretty too, that cabinet. I had a truck this time, so I could buy a little bit of furniture, but the things I really wanted, I couldn't fit in it. And I was a little bit bummed about that. I'll be showing that to you. And this was the dealer. More custom sawing and wood products. And he had the best planter boxes. And they were only $100 a piece. And Buddy I'd have bought 3 of them. But our truck bed is only 5 foot. And these were 6 foot long. And I didn't think we could make the turn in the camper. So I was kind of bummed to leave that. He had like 3 of them there. And I think 2 of them sold right after I saw them. But that was the planter box. That was really nice, and it was way up in the air. Would have been so nice for a garden. I was a little bummed about that. And here's some nice depression glass. This is Patrician, or Spoke, by the Federal Glass Company. This dealer had a variety of depression glass plates. And this is called chintz, but this is Crown Staffordshire China. And what chintz is a flower pattern, and it's really close together. So if you see the flowers on cups and saucers and plates and whatnot, and they're really scrunched in together, they call that chintz. Some of the best chintz is made by the Shelley Company. So I always look for Shelley cups and saucers. And there's a piece of Caprice by the Cambridge Glass Company, 1940s to 1957. And here's some Cherry Blossom by the Jeanette Glass Company from 1930 to 1939. They had quite a variety of nice depression glass at this dealer. And this is Miss America by the Hocking Glass Company from 1935 to 1938. And this is called Oyster and Pearl by Anchor Hocking Glass Company from 1938 to 1940. And this one's called Old Colony by the Hocking Glass Company from 1935 to 1938. And this is Floral or Poinsettia by the Jeanette Glass Company from 1931 to 1935. It was made. And this is a piece of Carnival Glass. This is a newer piece of Carnival Glass. Carnival Glass is really hard for me. I know we talked to some people at the last show, but I still need to learn a lot about that because there is older and there is newer Carnival Glass. And newer, I mean 70s or 80s. And then there's brand new Carnival Glass. So it's pretty difficult to tell. So, and if you want to see more about depression glass, make sure you take a look at our video on depression glass patterns and elegant glassware from the Depression era. And I was digging through these because I want to do a kitchen tool show, and I wanted to get a couple little Jello molds to try out to see how they would work. So I did find one. There's one right there. I got that one. And I was digging through those. They were only $1 a piece. I thought, well, I can buy a couple of those. That's nothing. That was kind of neat. The grape pattern on there. Well, that was more traditional pattern. And here's some more kitchen tools. And I got those too. And here's a case full of jewelry and rings. And a variety of objects in there. And this was a cool old truck. And I believe it just sold when I was standing there, but that was a neat old one. And here's some nice jadeite. And kind of looks like Roseville. I'm not sure if it's Roseville or Hull. I couldn't see the mark too good on that one. This is Weathervane Antiques. And they had quite a nice variety with some primitives and nice wood objects. That was a nice writing desk. And some old mugs. And this is Log Cabin in the Pines. And they had a big variety too. Their booth was done quite beautifully displayed. So we're going to take a look at some jewelry that this dealer made with old paint from the auto factories. So tell us a little bit about this jewelry.
All right, so this is automotive and industrial paint.
Oh, I've seen this.
They call it,
Fordite?
Fordite,
Yes.
but it's really not Fordite. It's actual automotive paint. Fordite is out of the Ford factories and GM and Chrysler factories. Mm-hmm. But I like to look at it as repurposing and recycling.
They look good too.
They are. I will cut out pieces, odd shapes, hearts. I do hearts too, and I do odd shapes too on different things. Here's some stuff with some odd shapes.
Oh.
So I make some earrings. I don't think I've got the earrings out right now. Hearts, earrings, and different things.
I've seen this up north, like in Mackinac, but I've never seen anybody around here do it. So that's kind of neat.
So what I do is I was a body man, a painter by trade, and a technical rep. So I used to get the stuff at shops, and then I would I make my own mounts. I epoxy them in, and then I sand them and I clear coat them. I do an automotive clear over top of them, which makes them pop, brings out the look to them.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thanks so much for the information.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And here's a tent full of goodies. This is Garden Antiques. And they had lots of ceramics and some nice old boxes, beautifully displayed with some nice pottery. What a nice set. What a nice wicker set. One day I'm going to have a screened-in porch. I'd sure like to have that at my house. And here's some wood objects and lots of porcelain and lots of items. She coordinated her colors, which I always do too in my booth, which I like that. This person had lots of tools. This is old school minibikes.com, and check out these old ones. You just don't see this stuff.
Hi, this is I bought this here. This is a 1950s Simplex motorcycle.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a later version, but they had an earlier version that was used in World War II as a paratrooper bike.
This bike.
This is a Ward's, Montgomery Ward's, the Riverside, made in Italy, and it's just a motorbike that needs a little bit of help, but it's a good value, $250. Over here we bought a Flymo, which is a lawnmower with no wheels. It flies, actually, hovers over the ground about 2.5, 3 inches, and flies.
And here we have some tractors, some nice old cars, and even Tony the Tiger. There's some magazines and all kinds of toys and figures. Oh, there was a Chewbacca over there. I should have looked at that. That's my favorite character of Star Wars. I like Chewbacca, so I always buy things but with him in it. Some old G.I. Joes. And here was a big bin full of toys that I dug through. 3 for $1. You can't go wrong. And I did get a little Goofy figurine for my husband. He likes to collect Goofy items, so that was really cool. But yeah, you never know what's in these buckets. Sometimes there can be nice old figures in there hiding underneath a whole bunch of other stuff. So you really got to kind of dig through it all to know. That was interesting. I'm not quite up to date on my my action figures, so I'm learning as I dwindle in toys these days. And thank goodness for Google Lens. It helps me figure out who is who. So we dug all through those. And here was some Disney collectibles. And more tools. Some old bottles. And some signs. Lots of signs. And here was some old patches and some keys. And she has lots of products for your hair. And this is Creekside Wax Company with all kinds of candles and wax melts. It smelled good in a lot of these tents that had the candles. They were super nice. And they had a big variety of jars that they put them in that were decorative. Quite beautiful. And there were some t-shirts also with a variety of sayings on them. And here is Woodburning Antiques. And it kind of looks like something that would come out of the barn. Lots of items like that. I call them farm teaks. Things that would have been in people's barns. And lots of tools. And a big variety of objects. And those are quite hot right now too. Any kind of old barn objects, I sell those pretty quickly when I put them in my house. But you don't find them like you used to. It's hard to find those old barn sales, although I run across them now and again. So if you see an old barn sale, you should probably check that out because you can find some really cool objects there. And here was a bunch of different toys. And there's my Easy Bake Oven. I have been looking for this Easy Bake Oven to do a video on. I want to compare the old one versus the new one. And let me tell you, I picked that one up. It was only like $20 and it worked. I wasn't sure when I got home if I had a broken one or not, but everything works well on it. And it has the original light bulb and everything, which is kind of hard to find certain light bulbs these days because everything is LED. So I picked that up and they held it for me. So here's some really good Mexican food. Here's their menu. And ooh, those taco salad bowls look so good. I missed this. I really wanted to get one of those too. I'll definitely hit that one up the next time. So I love taco salads, and look at all the stuff they're putting on there. It makes it even look that much better. Yum. So these shows were such good shows. I'll tell you what, being a dealer like I am, I'm kind of thinking about doing these shows. I think I would do quite well at them. So we're going to listen to Matt here about how you do that and how you become a dealer, because everybody was so nice. They were so easy to work with. I think this would be a good show to check out if you're a dealer. Look at that.
So if you're interested in becoming a dealer, you can visit our website. It's miantiquefestival.com, or just give us a call. Number's 989-687-9001.
And this show, to recap, is a great big car show, and we're going to hear a little bit how to register for the car show.
And this is how you register for the car show. You just come on out to the fairgrounds. We'll take care of you right on the spot. No need to pre-register. We'll take care of your car and get you a good spot to sell for the weekend.
And there's also tons of food at this show, and lots of dealers, antique dealers, collectible dealers, tons of food, entertainment, so it has something for everyone. So this is Lou from Lou's Antiques saying goodbye, and we'll see you again. Let's hear from the man with the blue eyes.
Come rescue a piece of American history.